The trial of the stars across the vast emptiness of space. Billions watched as Earth held its breath on a cold, gray morning. The leaders of humanity stood alone, not on Earth, but in a floating courtroom made of silver and crystal far above the clouds. This was no ordinary trial. This was the judgment of an entire species. They were called to answer for their actions. The Galactic Council had summoned them. Alien eyes from across the stars stared through glowing screens. Billions of beings watched live. Some came to see justice, others came to see failure, and some came to see the end of humans. Inside the courtroom, silence ruled. The room was huge. Lights danced along the walls like stars frozen in time. Around a great circular table sat 12 alien species, each one ancient, powerful, and united under the Galactic Council. At the center of it all stood the judge, tall, golden-eyed. "And cold, humanity," the voice echoed, "you stand accused." A man named Alias Carter stepped forward. He was the last diplomat Earth could send. His face was tired, his suit wrinkled from long travel, but his voice was strong. "We did not come here to beg," he said. "We came to explain." The judge tilted its head. "Then speak." Elias looked around the room. He saw hatred in some eyes, curiosity in others, fear, too. He took a deep breath. "It started when we reached the stars," he began. "We were new, we made mistakes, but every move we made was to survive, to grow, to understand." He paused. "We found ruins on Mars, not ours, yours. You left them behind long ago. We studied them, we learned from them. And yes, we used what we found." A murmur spread among the council. Elias continued. "You say we broke the laws of first contact, that we moved too fast, that we built too much. But we never attacked anyone without reason. We defended ourselves, we helped others when we could. We are not perfect, but we are not monsters." His voice rose. "And now you bring us here, not to talk, but to punish." Silence followed, then the judge spoke again. "You admit your actions. But do you admit your guilt?" Elias looked at the floor for a moment, then he lifted his head. "No," he said. "We are guilty of many things, pride, fear, maybe even arrogance, but not of crimes that deserve exile." The judge turned to the council. "Vote," it said. One by one, the aliens raised their hands. Some nodded. Others shook their heads, but most raised their claws, tentacles, or fingers in agreement. The verdict was clear. Banishment. Elias felt the weight of the word crash into him. "Humanity is hereby declared exiled from the Galactic Council," the judge said. "You may no longer trade with member worlds. You may no longer use shared technology. You may no longer enter protected space." The sentence was final. As Elias walked out of the courtroom, cameras followed him. The galaxy watched. Behind him, the doors closed with a sound like thunder. Outside, the sky was dark. A storm brewed over the floating city where the trial had taken place. He stood before the waiting reporters, his face pale. For a moment he said nothing, then he spoke. "They have cast us out." The crowd gasped, but they made one mistake. He said. Everyone leaned in. "They think we will fade, that we will die alone in the dark." He smiled, just slightly. "They don't know us." A pause. "We were not born in peace. We were born in fire, in war, in hunger. And still we rose." He looked up at the sky. "They think this is our end. But it is only the beginning." The camera zoomed in. Reporters shouted questions. But Elias simply turned and walked away. Back on Earth, the news spread like wildfire. The world was in shock. People cried, some raged, others fell silent. In cities, riots began. People stormed embassies, blaming aliens. Others blamed their own leaders, but in quiet rooms, in hidden labs, in forgotten corners of Earth, something else was happening. Plans were being made. Secret meetings took place. Old files were opened. Long-forgotten ships were checked. Hidden bases were activated, and somewhere deep underground a message was sent. Operation Starbound, begin. A new path. Weeks passed. The Galactic Council thought the humans would fall apart. They expected panic, collapse, submission. They were wrong. Instead, a new kind of unity formed. Scientists, Soldiers, explorers, and dreamers gathered in secret. They called themselves the Last Light, their mission. To leave, not just to escape, but to build, they found a ship, an old one, buried beneath layers of dust and secrecy. It was once meant for deep space research. Now it was their hope. It was called Starbound Ark. They loaded it with everything they could: seeds, tools, machines, books, and people, thousands of them. Volunteers, among them was a young woman named Lena Reyes. She was a pilot, brave, smart, ready. She stood at the edge of the launch pad looking up at the massive ship. "Do you really believe we'll make it?" someone asked her. She smiled. "I don't believe it," she said. "I know it," the countdown began. 3, 2, 1, fire roared. Metal screamed. The ground shook. And then silence, only stars. They were gone. Earth faded behind them. Billions watched from home. Some cried. Some prayed, and high above the planet in orbit, a signal was sent. Starbound Ark has launched. Humanity's journey begins. The message in the dark days turned into weeks. The crew settled into life aboard the Ark. They trained. They studied. They dreamed. One night, Lena was on watch duty. She sat alone in the control room, sipping coffee, staring at the screen. Suddenly, a sound, a beep. Then another. Her eyes widened. "Control room to Captain," she said. "We're picking up a signal? From where?" the captain asked. Lena checked the readings. "Out there," she whispered. "Deep space. No known systems nearby." The captain arrived quickly. They listened. It was not a normal signal. It was not random noise. It was a message, spoken in perfect human language. "Welcome, lost ones. We've been waiting." Silence filled the room. Who is this?" the captain asked. No reply. Just one final line. "Follow the light." Then the signal cut off. Everyone stared at the screen. "What does it mean?" someone asked. Lena looked out the window. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction. She didn't know the answer, but she knew one thing. This was not the end of their story. This was only the beginning. Final line. "The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours." The fall of the world. The sky above Earth was no longer blue. Smoke rose from burning cities. Fires raged where once there were homes, schools, and markets. The world was breaking apart, not just politically, but emotionally. After the Galactic Council banished humanity, panic spread like fire. Governments tried to calm people. But fear is stronger than reason. Riots began in the big cities. People stormed embassies, blaming aliens. Others turned on each other, blaming leaders, scientists, or even the innocent. In one city, a young girl named Maya watched from her rooftop as tanks rolled through the streets. Her father had been a diplomat, one of the few who believed peace could still work. But now he was gone, disappeared after the trial. She whispered his words to herself. "We don't need them. We'll build our own future." But right now, that future looked far away. The collapse across the planet, things fell apart, trade stopped. No more alien tech, no more spaceports. No more help from the stars. Food became scarce. Medicine ran low. Planes grounded. Satellites died in orbit. The internet flickered. News stations shut down. One by one, they went dark. People tried to survive. In New York, a group of engineers took over an old launch base. They worked in secret, trying to fix what was left of human space tech. In Nairobi, doctors built underground hospitals. They knew the chaos would bring disease, hunger, death. In Moscow, a former soldier named Anton gathered fighters. "Not for war, but for protection. We can't stop the fall," he said, "but we can make sure something survives." And in Sydney, a scientist named Dr. Layla Chun opened a hidden file she had kept for years. It was labeled Operation Starbound Phase 2. She stared at it for a long time. Then she called someone. "We need to move," she said. "Now." The Secret Alliance in a cold, empty building beneath the ruins of Cape Canaveral. A meeting began. No flags. No politics. Just people who still believed in something bigger. They came from all over the world. Scientists, soldiers, pilots, farmers. Teachers, they called themselves the Last Light. Dr. Lila Chun stood at the front. This is not the end, she said. This is a new start. She showed them the file. Inside were plans for a hidden ship, a colony vessel. Long forgotten, most think it was destroyed, she said. But I know where it is. Gasps filled the room. One man asked, "What if it doesn't work?" Leela smiled. "Then we make it work." The hunt begins. Finding the ship wasn't easy. It had been buried under layers of secrecy and lies. Built decades ago, when humans first dreamed of leaving the solar system, only a few knew where it was hidden. The team split up. Some searched old military records. Others hacked into forgotten databases. A small group traveled across the world, chasing rumors and whispers. In Antarctica, a frozen map was found inside an old research station. In Siberia, a pilot discovered a sealed hangar with strange markings, and in the Amazon jungle, a rebel leader gave them a clue. There is a place deep under the ocean. The final piece came from a boy named Jonah. He was only 16, but he had access to a powerful AI hidden in the ruins of Silicon Valley. He cracked open the last code. Coordinates appeared. A message blinked on the screen. Starbound Ark, location confirmed. They had found it, the ship that sleeps. The Ark was buried beneath the Pacific Ocean. Not floating. Not flying. Hidden. Deep under the sea, inside a massive underwater base, the ship waited like a sleeping giant. It had been built in secret, never launched. Its mission? To carry thousands of humans to a new world. If Earth ever failed. Now, Earth had failed, but the Ark was still alive. The team arrived by submarine. The journey was dangerous. Storms above. Darkness below. When they reached the base, everything was silent. Too silent. Lights flickered. Corridors echoed. Dust covered every surface, but the system still worked. They powered up the control room. Suddenly, a voice spoke from the walls. "Welcome to Starbound Ark. Authorization required." Layla stepped forward. She placed her hand on the scanner. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the lights brightened. Engines HUMAD. Doors opened. The Ark was waking up. The first hope word spread fast. The Ark was real. Soon, volunteers began arriving. Scientists, pilots, farmers, engineers, teachers, doctors. They came in secret, in silence. With hope in their hearts, Maya was among them. She stood on the deck, looking around at the others. "I thought we were finished," she whispered. Beside her, Anton the soldier nodded. "We almost were," he said. "But now we have a chance." They trained, they studied. They prepared. Months passed. Outside, the world burned, but inside the Ark, something new was growing. Life. Hope. A future. The launch begins one night. The countdown started. Not for war. Not for escape, but for a new beginning. Lena Reyes stood at the helm. She looked at the crew, at the families, at the dreamers. "Are you ready?" she asked. 1,000 voices answered. "Yes." 3, 2, 1. Fire roared. Metal screamed. The ground shook. And then silence, only stars. Earth faded behind them. Billions watched. From home, some cried. Some prayed. And high above the planet, a signal was sent. Starbound Ark has launched. Humanity's journey begins. The message in the dark days turned into weeks. The crew settled into life aboard the Ark. They trained. They studied. They dreamed. One night, Lena was on watch duty. She sat alone in the control room, sipping coffee, staring at the screen. Suddenly, a sound, a beep. Then another. Her eyes widened. "Control room to Captain," she said. "We're picking up a signal. From where?" the captain asked. Lena checked the readings. "Out there," she whispered. "Deep space. No known systems nearby?" The captain arrived quickly. They listened. It was not a normal signal. It was not random noise. It was a message, spoken in perfect human language. "Welcome, lost ones. We've been waiting." Silence filled the room. Who is this?" the captain asked. No reply. Just one final line. "Follow the light." Then the signal cut off. Everyone stared at the screen. "What does it mean?" someone asked. Lena looked out the window. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction. She didn't know the answer, but she knew one thing. This was not the End of their story. This was only the beginning. Final line. The stars were not given to us, we took them and made them ours. Into the void the stars stretched endlessly ahead. Behind them, Earth was gone, not just in distance, but in time. The starbound Ark had left everything behind. No home. No allies, no safety net. Just the unknown. Inside the massive ship, life went on. People adapted. They found work, made friends, and tried to forget the chaos they had fled. But out here, in the deep dark, fear grew like a shadow. Where are we going? Some asked. We don't even have a map. Others whispered. Lena Reyes, the pilot, stood at the helm every day, staring into space. She didn't have answers. They were flying blind. First signs of trouble 3 weeks into the journey. The alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the control room. Something's wrong, shouted Maya, now training as a navigator. Lena ran to the main screen. A warning blinked. Unknown object detected. It was close. Too close. The crew gathered fast. Is it debris? Someone asked. No, said Anton, the former soldier. This is moving. The Ark slowed. Sensors scanned, and then they saw it. A broken satellite. Old, cracked, drifting silently through space, but it wasn't human. It was alien. This shouldn't be here, Layla Shin said, her voice low. Why? Maya asked. Because this system isn't on any known maps. No one should have been here before us. They stared at the screen. Then a signal came from the satellite. Not random noise, a message. In perfect silence. They played it. If you hear this, run. That was all. One sentence. Then static. No name, no date, no origin. Just a warning. The room fell silent. What do we do? Anton asked. Lena looked at the stars beyond the glass. We keep going, she said. We have no other choice. The dead moon days passed. They followed the signal's path, deeper into uncharted space. Then they saw it. A moon, cold and gray. No atmosphere. No signs of life, but something was there. The Ark landed. Carefully, dozens of boots touched the dust. Maya looked around. It's empty, she said. Too empty. Anton replied. They moved forward, scanning for anything useful. Suddenly, a voice crackled over the comms. Commander, you need to see this. They ran to a nearby ridge. There, half buried in the dust, was a structure. Not natural. Built. It was old, rusted, but clearly made by intelligent hands. They entered. Inside, the walls were lined with strange symbols. Lila studied them. These aren't Galactic Council markings, she said. I don't recognize this language. But look, Lena pointed to a wall. These are star maps. They zoomed in, and their breath caught. One of the maps showed Earth, or what used to be Earth. It's ancient, Layla whispered. This civilization knew about our planet long before we ever reached the stars. Maya stepped closer. They were here before us, she said, and now they're gone. Silence filled the chamber. Then another signal, weak, faint. From deeper inside the ruins. They followed it. Down a long hallway, through a sealed door, and there, in a small room, they found it. A data core. Still active, still alive. They connected it. Images flickered, voices spoke, words formed. We were like you, once. We were cast out. We wandered, we built, and when we rose again, they came for us. The screen cut to black. Then one final line appeared. Welcome to the Forgotten. A new friend? The team took the data back to the Ark. They studied it for days. It told stories of a lost species, exiled. Just like humans, they had traveled far, seeking peace. They had settled on this moon, hoping to rebuild, but something had come, something dark. The records ended suddenly. No explanation. Only silence. Lila looked up from her console. There's more, she said, but we'll need to go deeper. Lena nodded. We follow the trail. They launched again, this time toward a distant star, one marked on the alien map, a place called ES9. Nobody knew what waited there, but they had to find out. Echoes in the dark as they neared ES9. The Ark picked up a new signal. This one wasn't old. It was live. A voice came through. Human. Double quote. Ark, if you can hear me, I'm still here. Gasps filled the control room. That's impossible, Maya said. We're the only ones out here. Lena leaned forward. Who is this? She asked. Static. Then a reply. My name is Commander Elias Holt. I was part of the Pioneer Project. We left Earth 20 years ago. Silence. You're not alone out here, the voice continued. And you're not the first to be forgotten. Another pause. I know who exiled you. Everyone froze. Meet me at ES9, he said. Before they find you. Then the signal cut off. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. First Contact Reborn. The starbound ark drifted silently near the planet EOS-9. It was strange, quiet, no signals, no movement. Just cold rock and silence. Inside the ship, the crew waited. Lena Reyes stood at the helm, staring out the window. Commander! Holt? She called again over the comms. Do you read us? Only Static answered. Maya looked nervous. Maybe he's gone. Anton checked his weapons. Or maybe he's not alone. Dr. Layla Chun studied the data from the dead moon. There's something here, she said. Something waiting. They had to land, they had to find answers, a friend or a trap. They touched down near a glowing canyon. The ground was cracked. The sky was red. A small team stepped out. Lena, Maya, Anton, and 2 scouts. They followed the last known signal from Commander Holt. Hours passed. Then they found it. An old human outpost, rusted metal, broken lights. Time had taken most of it, but inside. Life. They entered carefully, and there, sitting at a dusty table, was a man. Old, tired, but alive. He looked up. You made it, he said. Lena stepped forward. Who are you? The man smiled. Commander Elias Holt, former lead of the Pioneer Project. I left Earth long before your exile. Maya whispered. He's real. Holt stood. You're not the first humans to be alone in the stars. He led them deeper into the base. To a room filled with maps, star charts, old files. This galaxy isn't what you think, he said. The Galactic Council didn't just banish you. He paused. They tried to erase you. Silence filled the room. Lena frowned. Why? Holt looked at her like she already knew the answer. Because they fear you, he said. They fear what humans become when we're free. The forgotten Alias. As the days passed, Holt shared more. He told them about the pioneers, the first humans to leave the solar system secretly. Long before the Galactic Council knew, they had traveled far. They had met others. Some were enemies, but some were friends. One night, Holt showed them a hidden file. It opened with a voice. If you're hearing this, then hope is still alive. The screen showed a peaceful alien species, tall, silver-skinned, with deep blue eyes. They were once part of the Galactic Council, Holt explained. But they refused to follow the rules of silence. They believed in sharing knowledge, in helping others grow. They were exiled, Maya said quietly. Holt nodded. Just like you. Just like me, he turned to Lena. They want to meet you. She blinked. They're still out there? They never left, he said. They've been watching, waiting. For what? To see if humanity would rise again. The meeting, they traveled to a hidden valley. There, under the red sky. A light appeared, soft, glowing. Then figures stepped out. Not machines. Not monsters. Aliens. Peaceful ones. One stepped forward. Her voice was calm. Her eyes kind. You are the lost ones, she said. We have heard your name across the stars. Lena bowed her head slightly. I'm Captain Lena Reyes. This is our crew. The alien woman smiled. I am Zara of the Kalen, she said. We remember your kind. We watched you fall. And now, we watch you rise. She held out her hand. Lena took it, a moment of silence passed between them, then Zara spoke again. We will teach you what we know, she said. In return, you must promise one thing. What? Maya asked. Zia, Ra looked at each of them. Remember our name? Knowledge and warnings over the next weeks. The Kalen shared their wisdom. They gave humans ancient star maps, advanced survival, tech, healing tools beyond anything on Earth. They taught them how to navigate dark space, how to hide from enemies. how to build new homes among the stars, but with every gift came a warning. There are those who do not want peace, Ixera said. Others will come for you. Who? Anton asked. The hunters, she replied. Mercenaries, pirates, enemies of all who defy the Galactic Council. Lena looked at her crew. We can't stay here forever, she said. We need to move forward. Zara nodded. Then take this, she said, handing Lena a small device. It will guide you to the next step. Lena opened it. A single message appeared. Find the lost fleet. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. The battle of red dust, the starbound ark drifted. Above a dry, red planet. It looked dead from space. No signs of life, no cities, no lights. But on the surface, something was waiting. Lena Reyes stood at the helm, looking at the data screen. This place is rich in resources, she said. Water under the ground, metals, energy. Maya leaned closer. Could we build here? Dr. Leela Chun nodded. Yes, but we're not alone. Everyone turned to her. What do you mean? Anton asked. Lila pointed to a signal blinking on. The scanner. There's movement below, she said. Not natural. Not friendly. Silence filled the room. They had found a home. But someone else already lived there. First contact. The hard way. They landed carefully near a canyon. The crew stepped out slowly. Red dust flew through the air. The sky was dark orange. The wind howled like a beast. Anton led the team forward. Stay alert, he warned. We don't know what we're walking into. Suddenly the comms crackled. Captain, came the voice from the ship. Something's moving fast toward your location. Before they could react, a blast hit the ground. Beside them, fire exploded. Dust flew everywhere. Take cover. Lena shouted. They dove behind rocks as more shots rained down from the shadows. Figures appeared, rough, dangerous, armed. Pirates. Their ships hovered low, circling like vultures. One of them stepped forward. He wore armor made of scrap metal. His face was scarred, his eyes cold. You shouldn't be here, he growled. Lena stood up slowly, hands raised but not afraid. We didn't come for war, she said. We came to survive? The pirate laughed. That's what they all say. Then he pulled his weapon. Take what you can, he ordered his men. Kill the rest. Fight or the gunfire erupted. Lasers lit up the dust-filled sky. Anton and his soldiers fought back, using old Earth tactics, speed, surprise. Teamwork. They weren't the best equipped, but they were the most determined. Detected behind a rock. Heart pounding, she saw one of the pirates aiming at Lena. Without thinking, she grabbed a nearby piece of metal and threw it. It hit him hard. He fell. Lena fired. Down went another. More pirates came. The battle was going bad. They were outnumbered. Then a signal from the Ark. Captain, came the voice. We've locked onto your position. Should we fire? Lena thought fast. If they used the ship's weapons, they might kill everyone down here, including themselves. But if they didn't, they would die anyway. Yes, she shouted. Target the enemy ships. A second later, bright beams shot down from the sky. Explosions lit up the battlefield. The pirate ships crashed in flames. The surviving enemies fled into the dust. Silence returned, broken only by heavy breathing. A new home. At a cost they searched the battlefield. Most of the pirates were gone. Only a few remained, wounded, scared. Anton stood over one. Who sent you? He asked. The pirate coughed blood. No one. We heard about this place. Thought it was empty. Maya walked up. You were just looking for easy prey? The pirate looked at her. Yeah, guess we picked the wrong humans. Lena stared at the red horizon. This world had almost cost them everything, but now it was theirs. Building from ashes. They began work the next day. The Ark dropped supplies. Tents became shelters. Shelters became homes. They dug for water. Found it, clean, rich. They built walls. Set up defenses. Started planting seeds brought from Earth. Hope grew again. One night, Maya sat by a small fire. She looked at the stars. They tried to stop us, she said. But we won. Lena sat beside her. Not because we had better guns, because we had each other. Maya smiled. We're not just survivors anymore. No, Lena agreed. We're builders, fighters, explorers. She looked across the camp, people laughing, children playing, lights glowing in the darkness. We're not just human, she whispered. We're something new. A warning in the wind weeks passed, life settled until one morning, a scout ran into camp. Captain, he shouted, you need to see this. They followed him to the edge of the colony. There, carved into the side of a cliff, was a symbol. Not human. Alien. Zara's people, the Kalan, had once been here, and they had left a message. Beware the ones who follow. Lena stared at it. Someone else knew about this place, and they were coming. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. Echoes of Rebellion A signal came from deep space. It was weak, broken. But it was there. The starbound Ark picked it up during routine scans. At first, they thought it was just static. Then the voice came through. If anyone is out there, if you are human, help us. Silence followed, then more words. We are not alone and we are not safe. Lena Reyes sat in the control room, staring at the screen. Beside her, Maya whispered, someone else is out there. But who and why were they? Calling for help? The message from the core. They tracked the signal. It came from inside the galactic core, a dangerous region filled with black holes, radiation storms, and old war zones. No one traveled there without reason. Why would someone send a message like that? Anton asked. Dr. Leela Chun studied the data. Because they have no other choice. Maya looked nervous. What if it's a trap? Lena stood up. We won't know unless we find out, she said. Set course for the core. The Ark left red dust behind. As they flew deeper into uncharted space. The stars grew darker. The journey was long, every day. The crew trained, watched, waited. Then, after weeks of travel, they reached the edge of the core, there floating in silence. Was a broken station? Not human. Alien. And still active? A friend or a foe? They landed carefully. Inside, everything was cold. Quiet. Lights flickered. Wires dangled. Dust covered every surface. They moved slowly. Suddenly, a door opened. Figures stepped out. Weapons raised. One of them spoke. You're not them, he said, surprised. No, Lena replied. Who are they? The alien lowered his weapon. My name is Vector, he said. I'm of the Horus. Maya blinked. You're not part of the Galactic Council? Vector laughed bitterly. Once, yes. Now? We are ghosts. He led them deeper into the station. To a room filled with screens, images. Played on loop. Fighters falling from the sky. Planets burning. People running. This is what happens when you defy the Council. Vector said, they exiled us. Another alien said, for speaking out. For refusing to follow their rules. Maya looked around. How many of you are left? Vector sighed. Not enough? A choice that changes everything. Lena listened carefully. She saw pain in their eyes, fear, hope. They sent pirates to attack our colony, she said. Was it them? Vector nodded. Yes, the Council fears what you are becoming. He looked at her. That's why I need to ask you something. He paused. Will you help us? Silence filled the room. Anton stepped forward. Help how? Vector turned to a large map on the wall. There are others, he said. More like us. Exiles, rebels, outcasts. He pointed to several dots across the galaxy. They are hiding. He said, waiting, watching. He looked back at Lena. If we unite, we can fight back, Maya whispered. You want a war? Vector shook his head. No, he said. We want freedom. Into the shadows they agreed to help. But first, they had to reach the others. The Ark left the station and jumped into deep space. Their next stop, a hidden rebel base on the edge of a dying star. As they arrived, a warning flashed. Unidentified. Ships detected. Hostile. Everyone tensed. Are we expected? Anton asked. Vector checked his comms. No, that means someone else knows we're here. Before they could react, lasers shot past the Ark. Enemy fighters swarmed. Brace for impact, Lena shouted. The ship rocked. Alarms blared. They're trying to take us down. Maya yelled. Lena gripped the controls. We're not going out like this. She growled. She pushed the engines hard. The Ark dove between asteroids. Dodging fire, then from behind the moon, a new fleet appeared. Friendly ships, they fired back. The enemy scattered from the coms. A voice came. Ark, this is Commander Sol. Welcome to the rebellion. New allies, old enemies, they landed safely. Commander Sol greeted them. Human. Old, scarred, strong. I've been waiting for you. He said. Lena shook his hand. You knew we were coming? Sol smiled. I knew you'd rise. Just didn't know when. He led them into the base. Inside, hundreds of rebels lived and worked together. Humans, Oris, Kalen, and others, all exiles, Sol said. All united. Maya looked around. This is bigger than I imagined. It has to be, Sol replied. Because the war is already here. He turned to Lena. The Galactic Council wants you gone, he said. But now you have friends. Lena looked at her crew. At the people who had fought beside her. At the future being built before her eyes. She took a deep breath. Then let them come, she said. We're not afraid anymore. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. Empire of the Lost. The stars were no longer silent. Across the galaxy, whispers grew louder. A new power was rising. Humanity had returned, not as exiles, but as something more. From red dust to hidden rebel bases, human colonies expanded. Allies joined them. Kalen, Oris, and others who had also been cast out by the Galactic Council. Together, they built something new, the free human worlds. It wasn't an empire yet, but it was becoming one. A new government, a new fight on a planet called New Haven. A grand meeting took place. Leaders from every colony gathered. Lena Reyes stood at the center. We have come far, she said. We are free, we are strong, but we need more than just survival. She looked around the room. We need unity. People nodded. Some smiled, others frowned. Not everyone agreed on what freedom should look like. Some wanted peace, others wanted revenge. Tension filled the air. Then a voice rose from the back. This is not our way, said Commander Sol, the old human rebel. We fight for survival, not politics. Another leader, Vector of the Aura, stepped forward. If we do not lead, he said, someone else will. Silence followed. Then Dr. Leela Chun spoke. We must decide what kind of future we want. Maya, now a young leader herself, raised her hand. What if we don't all agree? That was the truth, and it was about to tear them apart. Secrets in the shadows. Later that night, Maya walked alone through the halls of the base. Something felt wrong. Too many voices. Too much arguing. Too many secrets. Suddenly her comms beeped. Maya, came a quiet voice. Meet me outside. Don't tell anyone. She recognized the voice. It was Alias, a young tech officer she trusted. She slipped out into the cold night. Alias waited under the stars. You need to see this, he whispered. He handed her a small data chip. She connected it to her wrist. Device. Images appeared. Secret messages. Hidden meetings. One name kept appearing. Councilman Raleth? Galactic Council? Maya's breath caught. He's working with them? She asked. Elias nodded. Someone in our own group. Is feeding the enemy information? Maya looked up. Who? Elias shook his head. I don't know, but if we don't find out soon, we're finished. Betrayal strikes the next morning. Disaster struck. An explosion rocked the base. Smoke rose into the sky. People screamed. Anton ran through the chaos. Where's Lena? He shouted. She was heading to the council chamber. Someone yelled. Anton pushed forward. Inside, dust filled the air. Bodies lay scattered, and at the center of it all was Zara of the Kelen. Hurt, bleeding, but alive. She looked up at Anton. It was a setup, she whispered. Then she passed out. Hunt for the traitor. Lena arrived fast. She saw the damage, the pain, and the message carved into the wall. You are not welcome here. She clenched her fists. They had fought too hard to lose everything now. She turned to Elias. Find the traitor, she ordered. Now, Elias worked fast, within hours. He found the trail. It led to someone unexpected. Commander Sol. The man who had helped build the rebellion. The man who had trained fighters. The man who had said, we fight for survival, not politics. But now he was gone. Vanished. Only one thing remained behind. A note. You were making a mistake. I tried to stop you. Now I must finish what I started. A split in the stars word spread fast. Soul was gone. The rebellion was shaken. Some believed he had betrayed them. Others thought he had been framed. Fights broke out. Colonies argued. Some leaders left. The free, human worlds began to crack. Lena stood before the remaining council. They want us divided, she said. That's why this happened, Vector nodded. If we fall apart now, their victory is certain. Zara, recovering from her wounds, looked at Lena. What do we do now? Lena took a deep breath. We show them we are stronger than fear. She turned to the crowd. To those who still believe in our future? She raised her voice. Stand. With us, one by one, people stepped forward. Not many, but enough. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. The return of the outlaws. The stars were no longer silent. Across the galaxy, rumors spread like fire. A new war was coming, and at its center, humanity, from Red Dust to New Haven. The free human worlds had survived betrayal, but now a greater threat approached. They called themselves the Iron Hand, mercenaries, pirates, warlords, hired by someone powerful, someone who wanted humanity gone. For good, a message from the enemy. It came through a broken signal. No face. No name, just a voice. Humanity. You have taken too much. You were cast out for a reason. Now we will finish what the council could not. Then silence. Lena Reyes sat in the command room, staring at the screen. Beside her, Anton tightened his grip on his weapon. They're not bluffing, he said. Maya looked up from her console. They know where we are. Dr. Layla Chun frowned. How? Alias, the young tech officer, tapped a few keys. The message was sent from inside our network, he said. Someone gave them access. Silence filled the room. Zia Y. Ra of the Kalen stepped forward. We must act fast, she said. If they strike now, we won't be ready. Lena stood. Then we make sure they don't get the chance. Attack on Red Dust. The first blow came without warning. Red Dust, the first human colony, was under siege. Pirate ships dropped from the sky like shadows. Lasers lit up the night. Buildings exploded. People ran. Anton led the defense team. Get civilians to shelter, he shouted. Maya helped carry wounded children away from the fighting. Above them, the sky burned red. Inside the control tower, Lena watched the enemy swarm. Too many. Too strong. She turned to Elias. Can we call for help? He shook his head. Comes. Are jammed. Lena clenched her jaw. They were alone. For now, the battle begins. The pirates landed hard. Heavy boots hit the ground, weapons raised, but the humans didn't run. They fought. Old Earth tactics met alien firepower, guerrilla strikes, hidden traps. Fast movement. Maya and a small team ambushed a group near the water tanks. Explosions rocked the dust. Anton led a squad into the heart of the battlefield. He took down one pirate after another, but more kept coming. Then from the sky. Signal. Clear and strong. Arc, this is Commander Holt. We read your distress call. Lena's eyes widened. You're still alive? His voice was calm. We're on our way. Seconds later, a flash lit the sky. A ship dropped from hyperspace. Fast. Deadly. The Revenant. Commander Elias Holt's old ship, and behind it, more ships. Kelen, Oris, Rebel allies. They had come, turning the tide. The battle changed in minutes. Enemy fighters fell from the sky. Ground forces scattered. One pirate leader, a brutal warlord named Vexkar, tried to rally his men. No human can defeat us, he roared. Then a sniper shot rang out. Vexkar fell. His army broke. Within the hour, the last of the pirates fled into space. The colony was saved, but barely. A secret weapon revealed as the smoke cleared. Holt stepped off his ship. He looked older, tired, but his eyes were sharp. I told you they'd come, he said. Lena nodded. I just didn't think it would be this soon. Holt walked over captured pirate. The man groaned, half dead. Who sent you? Holt asked. The pirate coughed blood. A name, Holt pressed. Tell me the name. The pirate looked up. The Silent Hand, he whispered. Everyone froze. Lena stepped closer. What is that? Holt's face darkened. A secret faction within the Galactic Council, he said. They've been pulling the strings all along. Zara's voice was low. They never wanted peace. Holt shook his head. They wanted control. He looked at Lena, and now they know you're winning. The war has just begun back at New Haven. The leaders gathered again. This time, there was no arguing, only one question. What do we do now? Maya stood up. We fight back, she said. We show them. We're not afraid, Anton nodded. We protect our people. And we find this silent hand before they destroy everything? Lena looked around the room. We started this journey as exiles, she said. Now we are something else. She paused. We are a people. She raised her voice. And we will not fall. Cheers rose, not because they were fearless, but because they were together, and that made them stronger than any. Enemy. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. The shadow behind the stars, these stars, had always seemed so far away, but now humanity knew the truth. Someone had been watching, waiting. And now they were ready to strike. The name echoed through every rebel. Channeled the silent hand. No one knew exactly who they were, not a single person, not even a single species. It was a secret group inside the Galactic Council, hidden, powerful, and dangerous. Their mission? To make sure that no race rose beyond their control, especially not humans. A hidden truth revealed in the heart of New Haven's command center. Lena Reyes sat at the war table. Before her, maps, data files, intercepted messages. Elias Holt stood beside her. We've been chasing shadows for too long, he said. It's time we found the truth. Maya leaned over the table. What if the truth is worse than we thought? She asked. Lila Shun tapped on a screen. I think I found something, she said, a file buried deep in old council records. Everyone leaned in. The file opened. Project Exile. Lena read the words aloud. It wasn't just about punishment, she whispered. It was about control. Holt nodded. They didn't banish us because we broke rules. He looked around the room. They exiled us. Because they feared what we could become? Zara of the Kalen frowned. What do you mean? Lila pointed to a line in the file. Human adaptability exceeds all known species. Unchecked growth poses a threat to galactic stability. Maya's breath caught. They didn't just want to stop us, she said. They wanted to erase us. A message from the enemy. Suddenly the comms buzzed. An incoming signal, unknown source. Should we answer it? Anton asked. Lena hesitated, then she gave the order. Yes. The screen flickered, then a face appeared. Cold. Calculated. Councilman. Rawleth. One of the most powerful leaders in the Galactic Council. His voice was calm. Captain Reyes, he said. I see you've been digging into things you shouldn't. Lena stared at him. You exiled us, she said. Why? Rawleth smiled. We gave you a chance to stay small, he replied, to remain quiet. But instead you grew. He leaned closer. You built colonies. You made allies. You formed a new power. He paused. That cannot be allowed. Lena clenched her fists. So you sent pirates. You tried to destroy us? Rawleth nodded. Yes, but we survived. His smile faded, for now. Betrayal. Within the message ended, silence filled the room. Then Elias spoke. We need to know how deep this goes, he said. If Rawleth is behind this, how many others are helping him? Maya looked up. I might have a way, she said. There's a hidden relay station near the core. If I can access it, I can find out who else is working with the Silent Hand. Anton? Crossed his arms. Sounds like a suicide mission. Maya met his eyes. If we don't do this, we're already dead. Lena stepped forward. I'll go with you. Into the lion's den. The starbound ark flew silently through dark space. Its destination. Relay station Theta 7, a forgotten outpost orbiting a dying star. Inside. Maya worked quickly. This place used to be part of the Council's old network. She explained, they abandoned it years ago. Lena scanned the area. There's someone here, she said. We're not alone. Suddenly, lights turned on. Dozens of figures emerged from the shadows. Armed, cloaked, dangerous. One stepped forward. You should not be here, he said. Maya held her ground. We know about the silent hand, she said. We know what you've done. The man smiled. Then you know enough to die. Escape and revelation gunfire erupted. Lasers lit the dark. Lena and Maya ran through corridors, past broken machines, toward the main server room. Maya hacked into. The system. Files poured onto the screen. Names, plans, orders. Evidence. Then she saw it. Operation Final Silence. Terminate human expansion. She gasped. They're planning a full-scale attack, she whispered. Lena pulled her back. We have to go. They fought their way out, just barely escaped, back on the Ark. They uploaded everything. Within hours, the truth was broadcast across the galaxy. Every colony, every ally, everyone watched. The silent hand had been exposed. The galaxy awakens across the stars. Reactions came fast. Kalan warriors vowed to fight. Horus rebels prepared their fleets. Even former enemies reached out for the first time. The free human worlds were not alone. They had friends, they had allies, they had a purpose. Lena stood before the council. The silent hand wanted us gone, she said. They wanted us afraid. She looked at each leader. Well, we are not afraid anymore. Zara raised her hand. Then let them come. Anton nodded. And we will show them what happens when you exile the wrong species. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours. Rise of the human empire. The galaxy was watching, not just to see what humans would do next, but to see if they would rise or fall. After the truth about the silent hand was revealed, the stars were no longer silent. Across every colony, every rebel base, every hidden world, people stood together. Kalan, Horus, exiles, rebels, even some former enemies. They had one message for the Galactic Council. Humanity is not afraid anymore. The final decision in the heart of New Haven. Lena Reyes stood before the leaders of the free human worlds. Behind her, a massive banner flew, the symbol of their new future. A golden sun rising from the dark. She looked at the faces around her. We have survived exile, she said. We have fought back against pirates, traitors, and secret enemies. She took a deep breath. And now we must decide who we are. Maya stepped forward. She was no longer just a girl who watched Earth burn. She was a leader. Mean? She asked. Lena turned to face everyone. We can keep fighting as rebels, she said. Or we can become something more. There was silence. Then Zara of the Kalan spoke. You mean declare ourselves a sovereign power? Lena nodded. Yes. A declaration that shook the stars. Hours later, a signal was sent across the galaxy. It was broadcast on every known channel. Every species listened. Even the Galactic Council on the screen stood. Lena Reyes. Her voice was calm, but it carried like thunder. To all who have watched us struggle, to those who feared us, and to those who tried to erase us. This is our message. We were once exiles, now we are free. We were once alone, now we are united. We are not here to destroy, we are here to build. We are not your enemy, we are your equal. She paused. From this day forward, we are the human empire. And then the final words, we will not ask for peace. We will not beg for a place among the stars. We will not hide in the shadows. We were not given these stars. We took them, and we made them ours. The enemy strikes back. The Galactic Council did not respond with peace. They responded with war within days. Fleets gathered, battleships formed lines, the silent hand launched their final strike. Operation Final Silence had begun. The first wave hit New Haven, then Red Dust, then every human colony across the stars. But this time, humanity was ready. The battle of the golden sun above New Haven. The skies burned. Kalan fighters soared beside human ships. Horus warships held the line. Rebels, outcasts, and allies joined the fight. At the center of it all, the starbound Ark. Lena stood at the helm. Tell every ship, she ordered. This is not just a battle. She looked out at the stars. This is our future. The comms crackled. Anton's voice came through. We're holding the front line, but they're pushing hard. Alias shouted from the weapons deck. We need to make a move. Lena nodded. Tell Commander Holt to lead the flanking team. Maya leaned over the controls. I've got an idea, she said. What if we use the old relay station as a trap? Leela Chun smiled. That could work. Minutes later, a plan was set, and minutes after that, the tide of battle began to turn. Victory is not just in war. The battle lasted hours. Ships fell. Heroes rose. And in the end, humanity won. The Galactic Council's fleet broke. Their forces scattered. The Silent Hand was shattered. Some fled, some surrendered. And for the first time in history, the galaxy listened to humanity, not as exiles, but as equals. A new dawn weeks passed. Peace talks began. The Galactic Council offered a seat to the human empire. Lena stood before the council chamber. She looked at the alien leaders and she said, "We accept your offer, not because we need you, but because the galaxy needs change. We are not here to take over. We are here to help build a better future, together." She turned and walked away. Behind her, the doors closed. But ahead was a new future. Final line. The stars were not given to us. We took them and made them ours.